Peace. Have it now. Now the vibrate, of course. Not too far in the future. Not too far in the past. Right now. Right now, before I did this video, I had to make sure that I wasn't doing this video out of feeling like, I have to answer to somebody or I'm on trial or something. I don't have to answer to shit and I don't have to answer to nobody. With that being said, though, I felt like, someone was telling me, though, at least this one time, at least fully explain the situation. Just so maybe just in case some people may be, kind of a little blinded by the ego or something, maybe as you say this and articulate this, then everybody will fully get it. Because matter of fact, after I say this right here, I'm no longer addressing this issue. Like it's gonna be plain, you know what I'm saying? But like how some people still on that vibe, again, this new age vibe of like not paying attention to race or this and that, like not paying attention to the negativity, all these things. And I'm about to give y'all some examples and just run it on that whole little situation, because again, I don't have to explain. That would be, matter of fact, that's almost back in those slavery days, me feeling like I have to answer up. These white people questioning me about if I'm racist or not. And I know I'm not fucking racist. So it's like, and that's the thing. I'm like, oh, no, don't do the video. But I'm like, nah, it's going to be like a full explanation. Because just in general, for everybody to hear, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is just not for, a certain people. This would be well for us all to understand on what's going on, you know what I'm saying? So now first off, how do you think scholars are able to have lectures? You see all these YouTube people, all this, what we speaking on, a lot of this comes from research. A lot of this research comes from past information. Again, like, yes, now is the vibrate. But nothing is wrong with referencing the past or peeking into the future. Perfect example of peeking into the future, like me having a YouTube channel. I wasn't dwelling in the future or anxious about it, but I'm like, all right, the world changing, the things gonna be, a little different. Let me create a YouTube let me create this YouTube channel and have a platform. Start building it up right now, because as people starting to, wake up and get into the spiritual vibe, you know what I'm saying? I could have some information out there for everybody, to help on their growth. And partly a way to bring in revenue too, again, gotta be authentic. Gotta take care of self. But again, how do you think scholars are able to have lectures? It's not by ignoring the past, because that's a lot of people like, either, man, you focusing on the negative or you focusing on the past. Even in the book Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle is giving stories of his past, and matter of fact of, Negapack when he was sleeping on a park bench, and things of this nature. So nothing you see, and that's, the Power of Now is the name of the book. You know what I'm saying? And he constantly referencing, Buddha and fake Jesus and, not knocking them, but, because I reference it to, we got to reference fake Jesus for people that's in Christianity to kind of have something to relate to, you know what I'm saying? But, Buddha and Jesus, that's old, but yet he referenced it. And that's another thing too, back to what when I made that video about only referencing the past when it has relevance, and right now, certain things that happened in the past, we need to know about because it's relevant to the now, you know what I'm saying? But again, teaching past subjects that are relevant to our now. Philosophers are always studying history, and as any human, no matter the complexion of your bodysuit, you should know your history and past lives, etc. But you should know your history, like, say for instance, and you get to see where, where the realness at, and then where that new age shit try to, again, have everybody blinded. And if you don't see how that works in their favor, then, again, you got to step back. You got to meditate, but step back and step into the observer mode. Because if you feeling like anybody felt like that video I did was being racist or anything, then, again, you're in your ego as a white person, like you're identifying as a white person in that moment, or somebody that's trying to preserve a race, so you feeling like what I'm saying is like, but if you pull yourself away from that, and then too, you feel a vibe, you see how I always share the information, and then again, I'm not on trial, so it don't matter, I don't have to, how can I say, give evidence of it, because I know what I am, and the people, in fact, the white brother and sister who I vibe with know what it is what it is. But anyway, again, teaching past subjects that are relevant to our now. Philosophers are always studying history, and as any human, no matter the complexion of your bodysuit, you should know your history. And again, not referencing it when it's irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Again, not knowing history conveniences the people who are trying to box you in through lack of information. Matter of fact, I think about, say for instance, researching Aldous Huxley and the dystopia info, and by me researching that, now I'm aware, oh shit, they trying to pull a dystopia vibe by making weed legal. They trying to use some type of substance to blind the people. But if I was like, well, I should look at the past, I should look at, it's like I wouldn't know that, and I wouldn't be aware and know how to take care of myself in the now if I didn't know that past information. Again, that's where, and this straight up. So anything to the point where, again, I started to even say I was going to not even allow for the comments under this video, but I'm like, nah, go, but I'm not. Again, this is because again, and you start to see, well, all right, it's obvious, that somebody's trying to get you to turn the other cheek, or just try to, not pay attention. Put it like this, bro, plain and simple. Shadow work. What happens when you ignore certain energies that's going on in your body? They become shadows. They become negative energy, negative entities. As above, so below is a universal fucking law. Excuse my diction, but that means the way we operate, our body operate, things operate outside of us. So if I try to hide from something that's really going on inside of me, it only gets bigger, and then that manifests outside of me. So when we run from issues outside of ourselves, they only become bigger until when it's time to, because you gotta face it at some point, and then you run away for so long to where when it's time to face it, it's this fucking big ass monster. Matter of fact, in the reference of like H.P. Lovecraft, like this monster, but again, it's not about ignoring anything. And again, with this information on the reference of being raised, I'm not hanging anyone, I'm not whipping anyone, I'm not forcing a religion on anyone, I'm not feeding anybody children to alligators. I'm just speaking true information. And matter of fact, you start to see that a lot of us, and again, I'm not knocking people who on this vibe, because again, as a person or as a being that has a just that high understanding, not saying I'm better than anybody, but just having a certain level of understanding, I know, like, people going, because again, some people want to hear what they used to hearing. Some people, matter of fact, when you set in certain beliefs, you don't want to hear new info that disrupts that belief that you value and hold on to. So when some new information disrupts that, it's like, oh no, but again, matter of fact, like, be a good old boy and practice spirituality in the ways that benefit us. You know what I'm saying? Like, here it is again. Oh, it's all love, it's all love. But don't talk about that. Don't talk about how your people getting fucked over, because that ain't gonna fix it. You gotta ignore it to fix it. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, and to reiterate what I always would say, because even in my early days, sometimes I was kind of close to feeling, being brainwashed somewhat by that new age movement myself. thinking that it was mostly all going to be about thoughts. And I'm like, nah, matter of fact, that's why I've been kind of like on my growth, like having to deal with billing revenue, because I was like thinking it was supposed to be all mine, like or just kumbaya, my Lord, and just meditating. It's all going, like, nah, it ain't just that, you know what I'm saying? Because you also, now is the vibrate. Right now I'm in a physical body, and in the physical body, we got different chakras. What the root chakra is about? The root chakra is about being courageous, you know what I'm saying? About taking care of yourself and your family, providing shelter and sustenance. How could you do that when somebody's, intruding on that, you know? Again, courageous, not fearful. Oh, this person doing this, or what you trying to do. No, it's like, I see from years and years of people, trying to fuck over people, that, all right, I could see that they've been scheming. Then me doing my research and seeing, like, all right, this Aldous Huxley and and Skinner with the Skinner box, and Orson Welles, like, all these are facts that they, that they've been using to brainwash and, again, mess over people with. Now use this analogy, to take it out of race, so you could really understand and see, like, all right, yeah, I wouldn't let that happen. But anyway, just like family, if we got a family, let's see, if we got a family member who lies to us about our past, just so he or she could inherit the family's wealth, are we the bad ones for exposing our cousin for fraudulent behavior after doing our research and finding out that kinfolk been lying? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I fraudulent for, like, doing my research and finding, like, bro, kinfolk been lying to us the whole time, bro. We had money sitting here, spiritual abundance sitting here waiting for us, but kinfolk was acting like that didn't even exist, But so the person who realized they've been fucked over is the ones who bad, because, well, you're not supposed to focus on how you're being fucked over. You gotta ignore getting fucked in your ass. Excuse my diction, but again, it's getting up there. And again, I haven't smoked in 3 days, mind you. I ate cucumbers today, 2 apples yesterday, so I'm like, the energy that's flowing in me is not close to, anything. I'm not being controlled by nothing outside. I'm not eating no junk food. It's October. The veil is thin. I'm not, it's not ego. This, again, matter of fact, what's really speaking is that energy that's letting people know that you can't run away from this shit. That's what's coming out of me. If you want to, again, it's not no hate. It's not no, it's like demanding respect and reverence. Like, again, though, I'm the little scenario. If we got a family member who lies to us about our past just so he or she could inherit the family's wealth, are we the bad ones for exposing our cousin for fraudulent behavior after doing our research and finding out that kinfolk been lying? Matter of fact, and here it is again, like, well, I'm couch surfing looking for a job because I didn't know I inherited millions, or I inherited this spiritual wealth, But I'ma just be nice and let cousin steal all my stuff, because that's what New Age movie, just be nice, Yet when I see a mother in nature, she not like, oh, you could just eat my kid, or you could just take my kid, and here, while you at it, take these babies that I'm pregnant for in my stomach. It's all love. No, that's not love, because in that moment, that lion is not loving itself. In order to love something else, you gotta love yourself. If I love myself, I love my bodysuit. I love the essence of source and the consciousness that run through me. I love every inch of my being, And with that, that means I'm not going to allow for it to be harmed or tampered with, Again, being ascending and being on a spiritual growth and Christ consciousness. Even Christ kicked up, even the fake Jesus story, Christ threw some shit around. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, y'all, again, selective listening. Shout out to the person, you know, that kind of commented on that video and let people know, like, selective listening. And matter of fact, and basically everybody not realizing, again, the old school slang, jumping from the skillet to the frying pan, which means, you know, the skillet and the frying pan is the same fucking thing. You're getting cooked, but because it's a different name, you think it's different. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, that's a skillet. You know, maybe this frying pan gonna be different. It's like, nah, bro, it's the same thing. It's still gonna burn you up. So in other words, you know, like they called it slavery and did it this way back then. Now they calling it something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, new age movement, all this and that. You know, skillet, frying pan, still gonna cook you. Still gonna cook you. You know. But again, in order to know how the wool is being pulled over the eyes with NASA, you know, we gotta, you know, study the Jesuit lineage. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, shout out to Dr. Phil Valentine with getting into that. And again, all our great teachers, you know, they not just sitting around just, again, especially as a philosopher, as a scholar, that's what is our now. Right now it's philosophizing, and philosophizing is bringing up, if philosophizing is a word, but it's bringing up, you know, intellect that may come from the past. Because in order to know where I'm going, I got to know where I'm coming from. You know, I got to know my history, you know. Because if I didn't know about, if I was on a vibe like, oh, well, you know, I don't want to look at nothing dealing with, you know, the government or negative, you know, I just want to ignore that. Well, if everybody was to ignore what NASA doing, they just going to keep pushing the lies to the next thing you know, again, you locked up in a concentration camp. And this is not fear mongering, but this is saying, though, that again, all that trying to, it's not for us to act like we're not seeing nothing. Again, shadow work and energy work 101. Ignoring shit is what causes the build of shadow energy. You know, it will cause a situation that may get so strong where maybe it's too late for you to react. You know what I'm saying? Law of attraction. This come from Esther Hicks. You know, yeah, we want you to focus and you know, and meditate and do the, you know, the mental work, but it also takes action, you know. Because matter of fact, because I guess they were saying it too much in that vibe of like, you know, just sit around thinking. So they had to correct it and keep telling people, hey, we're not telling y'all to just sit around, just, you know, imagining things all day. You know, you sit, you in line with source, and then you deliver on a physical level, you know. Again, healthy root chakra. That's why somebody's agenda is to demasculinize men. And making it seem like aggression is a bad thing. There's no bad, like, again. So you saying it's bad for a mama to have aggression to protect her kid? Like she should like nah, she should go meditate in the corner while her kid, you know, get, you know what I'm saying, getting tore up or whatever. Because again, and to show you another aspect, well, I done went through this, and I done did videos on this, so some people should know better. Well, I tell a story of how I had my bike. If you go check out that video, I think it's called Story Time or something like that. If you look up Universal Frequent Story Time. But anyway, I was on my super positive kick. Again, on that fake new age shit. So like ignore, like, you know, I just got to stay positive and positive. My bike got stolen from from at work, you know what I'm saying? And it lasted, you know, the positivity was strong, bro. It lasted about a good little 3 weeks. Of me just not, because the people, my co-workers be like, bro, you better tie up your bike. This, I'm like, oh no, man, I'm good. You know, I'm positive. I give off positive energy, man. Nobody's gonna take my bike. Shit, you know, next thing I know, get off from work, like, oh shit, where my bike at? Somebody done shot out with it. Here it is. I was at the top of my meditation. That was around the time I was fixing sage water with lemon every day. I was up there with my ginkgo biloba. I was only eating 1 time a day. You know, I was in that mode, you know. So again, this is not coming from no disconnected or, you know, and when we say ego, not the harmful ego, we do have, again, enough to protect our bodysuit. You know, I'm not gonna just run into a hot fire, you know, knowing that I came down here to do some physical things, you know, in this bodysuit. You know, so I have to have an ego enough to preserve my bodysuit. Point blank, period. That's what courage is about, you know. Standing up, taking care, root chakra, taking care of your body. What's the main thing that we tell a lot of the star seeds and stuff, like, hey, as much as you want to go back to this and that star system, guess where you at? And guess what's going on around you? You know, again. But yeah. And again, if I wasn't, you know, researching and finding out these things, matter of fact, how I'm able to, you know, tell things, not all my YouTube channel, again, for myself, we philosophers, that's all past information, you know what I'm saying? You know, because it's internal to be technical, but you know, it's like all past information. But whenever that past information deal with something that, you know, disrupts an identity that you identify with, then that information becomes a problem, you know. And that's just facts, you know. You could, again, matter of fact, let me not you feel how you want to, but it is what it is, you know. But, you know, again, power of now, Eckhart Tolle. You know, I was sleeping on the park bench. I was, you know what I'm saying? Again, but you start to see where what the truest thing of our spirituality that, you know, we probably could hear anybody say if we done heard somebody say it, is, you know, how we gotta just deprogram ourselves, like almost forget everything that we were taught and reprogram ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Because holding on to, you know, certain ideals, it blocks us. Because again, and that's what being in the now is about. That's what about integrating my being. Because integrating my being, like in the now, you know, with the integration of all aspects, because I'm not only, you know, source on the human experience, but I am in the human body, you know what I'm saying? So that means I'm gonna do some human things, you know what I'm saying? I'm here, yeah, I'm here in this plane as well as multidimensional, you know what I'm saying? But again, I'm not here in this body to take care of business on other planes, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, you just see where, you know, you certain things don't make sense. And with some of us giving off information, you know, like, you see the realness of the situation. Like, some of us being more raw at the beginning of our careers, you know, as far as like with any YouTube or lecture or something like that, you know. Some of us are more raw than others. Myself, I kind of played the little game a little bit too. When I first started off, I knew that, all right, you know, like just being straight up about every issue, people wasn't even going, because again, you gotta tickle people's ears just a little bit, as far as like saying things that, you know, people won't just be I'm against that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, because again, I think about as a matter of fact, I had to, you know, put that in my comments to a brethren, like, well, you know, with Ralph Smart, even Ralph Smart, as much as he, you know, stay away from those pressure zones of information. And again, I'm not knocking the brethren, because again, matter of fact, some of us making sure that we get the bag first, you know what I'm saying? Ralph like, shit, let me get this bag, you know, let me get this money. And as I get this money from you people, then I could, you know, really operate like how I'm trying to operate, you know what I'm saying? And again, it's not that we're being inauthentic, but it's just like knowing the world we in, and knowing how to, you know, again, knowing how to come at the situation. Again, some of us a little more raw, you know, than others, you know. Some of us a little more straightforward from the beginning, and like fuck getting the bag first. Like shit been disruptive for years. Like now is the vibrate. You know what I'm saying? Like not no ignoring things, and stuff of that nature. And again, of course we don't focus on the integration. We're not focusing on things that become detrimental to our now, but focusing on helping that situation is not detrimental to my now. It's just not. Again, though, if I'm identifying as a certain person, again, and that's where I get the vibe and see, like, well, all right, I really don't have to go into explaining myself, well, because people get it. It's just, again, some people on their growth. And that's another thing too. I'm so Christ conscious with it. I'll let you know on some straight up shit, but at the same time, I'm not knocking your head because you on your growth. And right now, some people, matter of fact, some some non-melanated people may feel like, oh no, like, this and that. You may be identifying, with your bodysuit in a manner that I use the example of Jane Elliott. Jane Elliott wouldn't be like, oh, Universal, you're wrong for standing up for your people. Jane Elliott, which is, again, white as the driven snow. That's my dogs. Jane Elliott up there, like, giving the business, And again, that's what's fire about that. Because she's white, nobody could say, oh, you being, it's like, nah, now what's real, because even the white person's letting what's going on and how fucked up it is, And again, it's not focusing, it's something that is relevant to now, you know what I'm saying? Because if I don't, deal with this situation, in the now, then again, this is something that, could plague me, so I can't ignore this, you know what I'm saying? Like if we ignore, we all kind of know Uncle so-and-so molesting our little cousin or our little, family member, but we like, oh no, but society say, it's wrong to expose, and the news say, this. It's like, no, but our heart say that if we let this go, it's just only gonna get worse, Like that's what my heart say, to stop this shit, you know what I'm saying? Is that, oh, you're being negative because you're trying to stop your little daughter from being molested, because that's something negative to focus on. Stop the madness. That's all I'm gonna say, man. But again, that's basically it, Again, I'm not on trial here, but just the way I like to articulate. This is what I do, so let me, I'm doing what I do. I articulate myself well. So I'm like, you know what? Let me articulate my way in such a manner that I'ma feel good myself. Like, so, like after this video, I'ma never even feel like, all right, well, let me just express this. Like after this video, like, all right, if you don't get it from here on out, you'll never get it. Again, because we getting closer to times where it's time to be getting it. And if you still not getting it, and not to say again, because again, we all on different parts of our growth anyway. We're not all growing at the same pace at the same, There's different levels to the shift. Straight up. Again, if I didn't know about how, how before the Nazis fucked over the Jews, how they kind of started a little campaign almost, like openly saying it, like almost like how they do some things again, like where I could have that research and like, oh shit, I remember when, Aldous Huxley spoke on a dystopia and talked about, they gonna flood us with drugs to blind us, and, or I remember, reading about, again, the Tavistock Institute and how they implement this. Like, that research helps my now. That's relevant to my now. Even, say, for instance, with acid now, I didn't, again, and I'm always being guided by my inner source. That's another thing. I meditate and Anyway, so the reason why I was gravitated toward that because my higher source was like, hey, you know, be careful with that acid shit. You know what I'm saying? Because look at this information over here. You know what I'm saying? Again, past information, but it's relevant to my now. So, with that being said, peace. Happy now. Now's the vibrate. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Peace, y'all.